India is about to give China a run for its money. As China crumbles under the weight of its own wrongdoings and crises, India is rising as a global export power. India has set a new record when it comes to exports, and here on, India's goal will only get bigger. That will be bad news for China's export-dependent economy. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Isha, and in this video I will tell you about India's historic milestone as the nation's export have crossed the $100 billion mark for the very first time. Let's begin. India is scoring big on all economic parameters. The naysayers believe that India's economy is in a bad shape, but data has been proving them wrong consistently. India is well on the path of recovering from the drawdown caused by the two waves of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. As the country paces fast towards vaccinating all eligible adults by the end of this year, and as zero prevalence of the novel coronavirus increases among India's population, there is a sense of certainty with which the economy seems to be bouncing back. Mind you, India is clocking economic successes at a time when China's export-dependent economy has begun unwinding. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry said on Saturday that India reported $101.89 billion in exports in the quarter ending September. This is the first time that Indian exports have crossed $100 billion mark. According to the Hindustan Times, in September alone, the exports stood at $33.44 billion according to government data. In August, the figure was $33.28 billion. The highest export amount in the second quarter was recorded in the month of July. The Modi government has set an export target of $400 billion for financial year 2021 to 2022. Until September, that is in the first 6 months of the current financial year, almost half of that target stood achieved. Exports from India till September this year touched $197 billion. This is an increase of no less than a whopping 56.90% in the year ago period and 23.84% compared to April-September 2019. In the first half of the last financial year, India's exports stood at $125.61 billion. India's merchandise exports jumped 21.35% to $33.44 billion in September on a year-on-year basis. In September, merchandise imports stood at $56.38 billion, an increase of 84.75% compared to the year-ago period. Exports of engineering goods stood at $9.42 billion, up 36.7% over September 2020. India's success comes in the backdrop of the global pandemic which had disrupted the supply chain market. China, the world's factory, dropped the towel and countries across the globe were left scrambling around in search for alternatives. Sensing a window of opportunity, the Modi government swooped in and in March last year launched the PLI scheme, and fast forward to today, the same has been extended to nearly 10 vital sectors of the economy. However, the Modi government is not sitting on its laurels and patting itself on the back just yet. With the introduction of the PLI schemes in the textile sector, the Union Textiles Minister Piyush Goyal has set eyes on the target of textile exports worth $44 billion by next year compared to the current $33 billion. China is reeling under a new and strong power crisis. The manufacturing powerhouses of China, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Guangdong provinces are the worst hit. Together, they account for 1/3 of the Chinese economy and lead Chinese colossal exports industry. Strict measures have been announced to cut electricity use in these provinces, and manufacturers have warned that it could lead to lower outputs in the 3 provinces. The shutdown of industries in China will inevitably end up hampering production, which in turn would take a toll on the communist nation's exports. While the Chinese Communist Party regime punishes Chinese industry for its own ineptitude to deal with the country's many crises, India is increasing its foothold in the global markets. In the years to come, the Modi government will set even more ambitious exports goal. India's export saga has just begun and it has a long way to go still.